Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. Cozy Tapes dropped, man. One of my favorite albums in this year that has dropped, that's for sure. Just like, I think this music is so pleasant that we need to make it like a type beat, but in a good way, you feel me? I really think we need to make this a thing, like Cozy Tapes type beat, you know what I'm saying? Like chill beats. And yeah, I'm gonna hop in this beat, which is already placed, but it's coming out probably in a year or so. But it's coming out on JS Kitchen's profile, so if you follow him on Spotify, you might get a single that drops that is gonna give you a little taste of the album that's almost exclusively produced by me. And yeah, that's enough self-plug. No, that's not enough self-plug. Nah. 300 subs. My hair is going white, that's for sure. Look at it, because this shit is white. It's gonna be white in a few days. What other crazy shit can I promise? Like, oh yeah, bro. I have a book. Nah, for real. I have a real book coming out in a couple days. I have a book that I've been working on, and it's like a lot of tips in there, or yeah, how can I set up my mixing chain? Not like that type of stuff, but really just like the productivity, the how to plan and how to look at this career as an entrepreneur rather than a 18-year-old on a bedroom, getting things from a more professional standpoint, trying to be more productive. That's actually what the book is gonna be called. It's gonna be called Producer Productivity. More on that on the 300 subs. And I can't say too much, but I think there might be some extra kids dropping at 300 subs. But that's enough boost for now. Let's stick to the cooking right now. We're gonna need to change the clothes and the drip a little bit, so let's do that in 1, 2, 3. Now, hey bro, hey, cannot make a beat without the merch, bro. So yeah, get your merch, get your stickers, get that shit straight, boy. Now let's get into the actual tutorial. How I started this off was with my boy Rod. He sent me over these drum loops that he made himself. Didn't do too much to it. I don't think I did. When you would listen to all those clips together, it would sound something like this. Okay, so that's kind of like where we started off, and then I came into the session and, you know, things started to evolve. So I heard this drum loop and I immediately hear the sigh break in it, like and then like a sigh. So those nuances are very important when you're making these chill type of vibes. Everything is like just really subtle, taken away, but then slowly revolves back into the regular part. So I remember him laying this down immediately. It's not too hard. Just like a little rim with a soft velocity curve, just a note before the actual backbeat, which is this note over here, and this is, you know, this is the sauce. The hi-hats are kind of the same thing, just playing with velocities, and also daring to leave stuff out. Like that's really, people think that like,
oh, you're making a beat without lyrics, needs to be really complex.
No, you can fill in your track with subtle nuances. Doesn't have to be like, it's not necessary, you feel me? You can solve these things in multiple ways. Then we got the shakers. Then what I did was I laid this extra acoustic drum in. That's a stock drum set from Ableton, but I bet you got these type of kits in FL Studio, or if you don't have this in FL Studio, just drag in a drum rack or something like that. I hope you guys have that. And then put like all kinds of acoustic drum set sounding, like actual sounds, manipulate them a little bit so that they actually fit the track when it comes to pitch and sustain, all those kind of things. And yeah, then you will get something like this. See, these are just subtle things, like really just a couple of hi-hat hits, a cymbal that sounds really odd with a special effect that I'm gonna show y'all in a bit, and then also these floor toms that just do the little thing. So what I did here was I put alien landscapes on this kit, on this entire drum rack actually. As you can see, there's like a weird collection of effects. It's like a phaser, chorus, everything combined really. So I recommend like downloading rare free plugins. They will often come with these effects that you won't really expect, and then maybe rack them up in some type of audio effect rack, and then you will get some pretty similar results to this. Okay, no 808s for this one. I wasn't feeling 808s, so I went with a sub bass. Of course, that sounds like too subby, and I'll probably start it off actually with this electric bass, which sounds a lot more Cozy Tapes and is like really analog sounding. And it's also a stock instrument from Ableton. EQ'd the lows out because the sub bass was already taking care of the lows. This was really just more to get the sweep in of your fingers on the strings. Then I had these chords laid down over here. Really what I just do is I go on the MIDI keyboard and I just play random stuff in. That's how I find that you can get the most unique results and the fastest results actually, that sound the most humanized without tweaking too much in the program, because that's not too much fun for me. Just this chord progression is what's the come out, so you can research what these chords are, but I really don't know. Like I try stuff, like hear if it sounds good, like even the scale. There are notes in this chord progression that are even out of the scale, but they still sounded good, so I just leave them in, you feel me? Sometimes it's not always bad to neglect the rules of making music, so try some shit out. The piano I used was a stock piano from Ableton. Then I also layered this with a Rhodes, which is also a stock instrument. I'm sorry for all non-Ableton users. I also layered just the same chord progression but without the bass notes as a pad, and this pad was the Dejavu pad, which is my favorite pad in Ableton. So that sounds like that. That's for the verses. And then we got these Rhodes over here. What's really crucial when it comes to making these type of Cozy Tapes beats is try to get some real arrangements in it. So just don't go ahead and make like even like a A section and a B section and just duplicate that throughout the whole track, but really like have it go A, B, and then A1, B2, and then B. You know, it's all gonna make sense. So for instance over here, what I'm saying is that we had this first part, but then in the second part I introduced this lead, which sounds like this. And what this lead is actually doing, it's transferring us into a break where everything gets a literal breath, because we had that sigh, and that's the part where the sigh comes back into the beat and everything's, you know, gets to breathe a little bit more. What I also did was I rendered this out and I put some real effects on it, like for instance, this is a Finisher Micro. This is this free plugin right here. You can get that from the UJam website. It looks amazing in my opinion, and it's really simple. It's a one effect knob type of thing. You have a lot of effects, but I just use the infinity preset. That's it. And then I also had this one, I think that's half times. It's actually put 2 octaves down, which gives that really like that grumpy type of sound, you feel me? So really nothing too special about that either. Then we had that synth. I played in a literal solo on my synth via audio cables, so I can't really show you what the process was like because it's actually recorded analog, but this is what it sounded like. What these are, it's really more solos to get some type of extra variation into the track, which is something I really like to do. This is very beneficial for the arrange. It makes everything very interesting. Also layered it with this extra lead on top of it, which is exactly the same concept, just a weird preset in a synth. I prefer to play it in on the analog gear. Then I also played in my guitar. What I recommend you do is you grab your guitar or get someone to play a guitar for you, or just try to get some friends that even just play pop songs and say like,
hey, you play pop songs, maybe you could play the solo for my instrumental, I would credit you or whatever.
That way you can still get these real sounding results in the end without having to learn the guitar, because I understand that for some people that's a little bit too much time consuming. Also very special about this session was it was actually raining, and I thought like I'm not gonna use a rain sample, I'm just gonna record the actual rain that's outside. We were cooking up with the windows open, so it was a very moody, cozy session, you feel me? So this is a special one. As you can see, the mixer track is blue over here, and that means that it's going to our bus track, which is the sidechain. I have almost everything that is not rhythm based routed to this track, and this all gets compressed by the actual kick signal. See, every time the kick is hitting, because that's the input that I set, every time the kick is hitting, we're curving in to the volume of our melodic instruments, which gives us extra bounce and like breathing in the mix, you feel me? Then I also have a non-sidechain bus, which is for those instruments that you really don't want that to happen to, like risers for instance. So I have this crash, which I used. White noise crashes are always nice because they don't have a pitch, so it's very easy to use them in all of your tracks. Then I also have this one, which is a slow riser, which was in the size section. Added the extra bounce. Over here we got the extra riser. Same stuff, white noise riser. I cut the end off because it was too much EDM sounding to me, but you can leave it in if you want to. And we also got the tag over here. Is that George? And we're done. Actually, we're not completely done. I also left a break in the beat over here. I played in a little solo on my electric drums via audio cables. Just like a little break, and then I put in these 808s. So I was actually lying, I did put in 808s in the beat. It just gives off like a really bridgy type of feel, which is also something that makes the arrangement very much more interesting. So let's listen to it together. We're gonna get over to me in the future, because of course you can't let this beat sit on your hard drive. We just made a cozy tapes type beat, so of course we also gotta perform it just like Chuki Beats and Dejavu did on Pukkelpop and like Locus Festa, all those festivals. So we're gonna perform it at the local market. Sometimes people just think like, oh, they get an idea and they think people are gonna think that it's stupid. People are gonna think that, oh, what are the other people gonna think? But sometimes you just gotta learn to not give a fuck, basically. And that's what we're doing today.
To the speaker, bitch. The box is not the box, hè.
Damn, you're right, bro.
A box is een vierkante ding.
Ik heb echt gewoon maar 5%. Hey, I'm just glad that you guys watched this video. I think it was the most time-consuming video I ever made, ever edited. It was so fucking worth it. And shout out to Chuki and Dejavu, because they are inspiring us to do this all. So shout out to the 32 guys, Pretty Boy Joe, all the 32 crew. And I'll see y'all in the next gang.